Welcome back to another episode in the Beyond the Playbook podcast, and we're here with another video in the Winter Olympic Explainer series. So imagine this: you're lying flat on your back, your face is merely inches from the ice. You're traveling faster than traffic on a highway, and you're steering, but with your shoulders. No, that's not an extreme stunt, it's an Olympic sport. So I'm here to speak about the sport called Luge, and here's everything you need to know before the Milano-Cortina Winter Olympic Games. So what is Luge? Luge is an individual sliding sport where athletes lie flat on their backs, feet first, on a small sled and race down an icy track as fast as possible. There are 5 Olympic events: men's singles, men's doubles, women's doubles, and team relay, which involves 4 athletes in the event. Whereas in the doubles event, there are 2 athletes on one sled. Now the goal is very simple: complete the track in the fastest total time. But what makes Luge unique is how it's done. There are no brakes, there is no steering wheel, and there's nearly very little margin for error. And athletes steer by using tiny shoulder movements, pressure through their calves, and shifting the body weight by mere millimeters. Now, if your alpine skiing is about choosing a line, Luge is about never leaving it. So, a brief history about Luge. Luge was developed in Alpine Europe in the early 20th century, evolving from sledding races held on natural mountain roads. It became an Olympic sport in 1964, debuting at the Innsbruck Winter Games. Since then, it's been Germany and Austria who have built up dominant sliding programs, and the tracks have evolved from your natural ice to highly engineered courses. And Luge has become a sport where physics, aerodynamics, and nerve matter more than raw power. So today, you see Luge as one of the most technically demanding events at the Winter Olympics and one of the least forgiving. So a brief talking about the race format. So the singles events usually have 4 runs, while the doubles events have only 2 runs. And the total combined time decides the medals. So there are no knockouts, no head-to-head racing, just precision and repeated perfection. So you can divide a Luge race into 2 parts. The start, where races are generally won. So the start is where the most explosive movement happens before the sled even moves. So the athletes rock back and forth, they launch using spiked gloves and dive onto the sled at full extension. So a strong start can create an advantage that lasts the entire run. Now the second aspect of it is this: once the sled is underway, it involves steering as well as the lines. So athletes aim for the cleanest racing line, and the errors increase the amount of g-forces which are there in the curves. So this kills speed into the next section. So you're not watching chaos, you're watching control at extreme velocity. So the venue at Milano-Cortina 2026, Luge will take place in Cortina d'Ampezzo, one of the most iconic mountain towns in winter sports. The sliding events are scheduled at the Cortina Sliding Center, a rebuilt version of the historic Eugenio Monti track. So what makes this important? This particular track has new ice profiles, and there are subtle changes in the curve rhythm. As a result, there are fewer reference points from previous races. So in Luge, you could say that familiarity equals confidence, and confidence at 140 kilometers per hour can mean everything. So, a few fun facts about the sport. Luge is considered the fastest sport at the Winter Olympics. Here, top speeds can exceed over 140 kilometers per hour, and athletes experience up to 5 g-forces on the corners. So g-forces means gravitational forces. So basically, they are experiencing up to 5 times their own body weight. They have gloves which have metal spikes, but they're only used at the beginning of the race when they're trying to push onto the sled. And double teams must be so synchronized that even breathing patterns matter. Now, there is no steering mechanism on the sled, so every correction you see is pure body control. So who are the top countries and athletes to look out for? So of course, Germany are the benchmark nation in this particular sport, whereas Austria are very technically flawless. Latvia has grown into a strong program, especially in the doubles event, and you cannot count out Italy with their home track familiarity. US has a lot of rising depth as well. On the male section, there is Felix Loch, who is the German men's singles standout and the World Cup points leader this season. And on the female side of it, it's Julia Taubitz, who's a German women's singles star, currently topping the Olympic qualifying points. So all this is to say, Luge is pretty silent, brutal, and relentless. There's no contact, no tactics board, and there's no place to hide. So when the sleds launch at Milano-Cortina, let's hope that you're able to understand and, of course, enjoy what you're watching. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you feel like it. And thanks for watching this video. Bye.